You're listening to the Underground Nation podcast, where raw voices rise from the shadows. In this episode, Bounce Ball Boogie sits down with OHDREAMER, a rising force from Tacoma, blending nu metal, trap, and horrorcore into a sound that's as dark as it is unforgettable. From secret collaborations to the rise of OHD Presents and upcoming live shows, this conversation dives into the mind of an artist who's turning pain into power. Stay locked in. This is Underground Nation.
All right. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Underground Nation podcast. It's your host with the ghost, Bounce Ball Boogie, Whoa, what? I just saw a glitch in the Matrix here. I think my dreams are coming alive. Is it the man I've been You're the man of my dreams, OHDREAMER.
Indeed. What's up, everybody?
Or is it my nightmares? Holy shit. I guess that's for me to figure out.
Yeah, indeed.
That's my own personal issues. All the way from Tacoma, Washington. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. OHDREAMER, how the fuck are you doing, my man?
Oh, man, thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure. And yeah, man, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Man, I can tell you it's been a crazy week. I kind of found myself in an awkward position going to a venue the other night.
Oh.
And yeah, man, I guess I kind of hit a mental block or wall or something. I just felt like, what? And then ever since then, I've been just trying to bounce back. But I'm feeling better today.
Well, good.
Hell yeah. Well, you being here is helping me through that.
Well, I'm glad that I could assist.
Fuck yeah. So, OHDREAMER, let the audience know a bit more about you as an artist from the lyrical side, your production side. What are your skills? What do you bring forth with the music that you're putting out today?
Yeah, man. I think let's start here. I've been doing music actively for a better part of 20 years. I've always really, really enjoyed singing. I was initially inspired to get into music as a singer and as a lyricist. So, that's really kind of where the heart and soul of this project really lives, is in that, that kind of lyrical aspect. This project kind of came to life in a really, really strange period of time. We had just gone into lockdown during the COVID issue. So, there wasn't really a lot to go out and do at that time. So I thought about, bringing this project to life and just kind of doing, a couple songs and exploring kind of this, new realm of like an industrial, electronic, kind of metal realm. And once I knocked out, the first couple songs, it was like, man, this is, I really like this, and this is a lot of fun. So it just kind of started there.
And like you said, you pull from industrial influences. From me listening to your music, I hear a lot of nu metal influence, horrorcore, maybe. What non-musical inspirations, like films, books, or life experiences, have shaped your artistic identity?
Oh, yeah, man. I love philosophy. I love reading into philosophy quite a bit there. I like to read a lot of graphic novels, comics and stuff, but I really like to garden a lot as well. So, yeah, we're constantly in the garden out here. And all of those things really just kind of, add to it. It gives me, time to explore these different spaces and these different areas that, I enjoy to be, active in. So, I think that it's interesting how much an hour in the garden could really inspire you, like, to come into the studio and really start cranking out some material.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get in tune with yourself.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. With your hands in the dirt.
Hell yeah. How does your environment in Tacoma, Washington seep into the music you make? Do you think location even matters in the digital age?
Man, that is a great question. Yeah, I think that location does. I would say maybe location is in, your personal space, or, a personal space that you can go to be creative, surrounded by the things that you love. Just adjacent to me is a giant cabinet of curiosities and oddities, so I love being around the things that I like. I think that it's extremely important to have, that dedicated space, to do that. Tacoma is a really, really interesting place. I love absolutely every second of it. But we have created this like little, like paradise backyard kind of area. So during this time of year, that is where I'm at, or, out here in this space. So both very, very important to have a good space that you can be in to be creative and really kind of explore your craft.
Oh, absolutely. When crafting dark or aggressive tracks, is it more about purging personal demons or painting stories for the listener?
I think a little bit of both. A lot of the topics that, I explore with my music, I think, are deeply impacted by life occurrences and, just, my own sense of self, or, kind of anything in that realm. But to be able to take that and then start to kind of craft it into a story, right? Almost like an allegory that you can then put out into the world artistically and let people kind of digest for themselves. And, I think that's really interesting to see how people digest and kind of find their own, their own path in some of my music. So,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was really curious because when I was diving into learning about OHDREAMER, the title of your Arise for All That Is Wicked feels almost like a call to arms. And you just mentioned philosophy too. What's your personal philosophy on the relationship between darkness and creativity?
I think that, oh man, all right, we're going to get a little deep on this one. I think darkness, we kind of need to cut it into two different things, right? One, because I do want to explore darkness as in like physical night, darkness coming from a spot of, of bad places. I'm sorry, what was the question again? I started to go down my own rabbit hole.
Yeah, go down that rabbit hole. Yeah. I was getting lost in the sauce there. I was like,
yeah. Go ahead. So I know we were talking about like or kind of like dissecting the two.
I was really intrigued by the title of your EP, Arise for All That Is Wicked. Like I said, it feels almost like a call to arms. What's your personal philosophy on the relationship between darkness and creativity?
There we go. The relationship between darkness and creativity. So I think that when we are talking about non-physical darkness, right? Darkness is in, our own personal demons, so to speak, or some of the negative things that have happened in our lives. This is just like a playground of, ideas to draw from. I try not to become a defeatist in my lyrical exploration, even though some topics, might very well be at a time where, myself or, a story pertaining to somebody being in a very vulnerable state or so on and so forth, I like there to be some kind of drive or, some kind of forward progression within that. So, being able to pull from those kind of darker times, really gives people something objectively to say, this is what I want to change, or this is what I want to prevent, from occurring again. So I think now on the other side of, physical darkness and being creative, I am very, very, very creative at night. Lesser during the day and more creative at night, I feel. So I think that there's, really some amazing ancient symbolism there that we could really get into and spend some time on. But I think that there is a relationship, and a very strong relationship, between creativity and an almost physical darkness.
I agree with that completely. I'm a motherfucking night owl.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about.
When creating music, I do best at night. I could stay up all night, sleep all day. If I was able to do that full time and pay bills, I would do it.
Indeed.
If I could avoid the sunlight at all costs,
I know, right?
I am game for that. And I would say that's something I'm working towards.
Oh, hell yeah. There you go.
Fuck yeah. You were just mentioning how you explore themes that others might shy away from. What do you believe most people misunderstand about darkness, aggression, or negative emotions inside of art? That
it is a very necessary and natural stepping stone on the path to greatness.
Absolutely.
I think, it is, I would say that it's almost underappreciated. And in one aspect, failure, right? We hear the word failure and it's almost like, you know, you can almost like hear a ripple, you know, in the sands of time or atmosphere, you know, where failure, without that, you don't have learning, right? So this extremely important key component of like everyday life, right? Learning. We don't have that without failure. So right. I think that we really need to change, you know, like how we, well, no, let me back up. I don't want to say that. I think that the perception of failure has a bad rap.
It does.
Yeah.
You got to be comfortable getting uncomfortable if you want to evolve.
Indeed. Absolutely.
You got to be willing to put your balls on the line, and you might get stepped on and it may hurt a little bit, but you're still in the fucking game. Exactly.
Right. And there's, you know, forward progress, you know, isn't always painless, unfortunately.
Absolutely. I always try to change the mindset there. It's not failing. You either earn or you learn, motherfucker.
I like that.
If you fail, at least you learned a lesson and hopefully you'll fix it so that doesn't happen again. And if it does happen again, you can place yourself to win instead of taking the L as you did today.
Absolutely. The catalyst for progression.
You're listening to Underground Nation. Up next is a music break featuring OHDREAMER with his track names of Atonement. A powerful blend of raw emotion and heavy sound, this one dives deep into the weight of redemption. Let the atmosphere pull you in. This is OHDREAMER.
Get up off your knees, the gods are forgotten, the masters are murdered and we were led astray. Get the fuck up off your knees! We leave these caves behind, never to return and let return. These orbiters of lies, let the names be stricken down by flames. Left to be forgotten, the last we remember and arise. Alright, the burning will fade until all that's left is decaying. So aim for the head this time, fire away and the flames will ride. Names of atonement. Shadows guide thy way. Though we never know. Let's fire from the eyes. Liberation's crown.
If you could speak to your past self at the moment, you first started recording demos like Ribcage. What advice or warning would you give that version of OHDREAMER?
Get better at mixing, for real. Yeah, I've got no problem saying that. Yeah, you know, and I think that that's still, you know, a thing, you know, even now today. You know, when it comes to like recording music yourself in your home, like garage setup kind of thing, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot to learn. And there's going to be a lot more demos coming out. So strap in. Each one's getting better. You know, every track that, you know, that I end up producing myself, you know, is getting a little bit better. But for the most part now, you know, I have some different outlets that I can, you know, really kind of embrace and utilize for recording as well.
Hell yeah.
Help me out in that department.
Fuck yeah. Extending the network.
Yeah, indeed.
Which you've collaborated with other underground artists. What do you think is missing from the underground scene today, and what do you hope to bring to it?
That is a very good question. I think the underground just needs to be a little louder, to be honest. I think that there's just so many great underground artists there, you know, that haven't been heard yet, you know. So yeah, get loud, you know, get out there, you know, come on this, you know, on this show as well, you know, hit me up on the OHD Presents side of things, you know, let's network, let's talk. You know, one thing that I really want to bring to it is, you know, that call to arms, you know, wake back up, right? Let's get this popping again.
There we go.
Yeah.
You mentioned kind of starting around the pandemic, 2020, which not that long ago, if you think about it.
Yeah, realistically.
But you've already crafted a unique voice. Where do you see OHDREAMER
5 years from now? I think we're going to be we're going to be looking at some bigger tours. I think that we're going to be looking at some bigger collaborations.
Any special announcements to make on the podcast?
Let's see. I got a couple, but we'll get to that. I got a couple for you though.
I had to nudge it.
I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot more to come. Yeah.
Okay. A lot more to come. So you better
Indeed.
tune in and lock in now and subscribe. All right. I was building for something big right there. I was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Contract with streaming, short attention spans, and algorithm music. Do you ever feel pressure to make shorter, more digestible tracks, or do you rebel against that idea?
Oh, to be honest, I really haven't put much thought into it. I do hear a lot on this topic of like the shorter attention spans and. I don't know. It's something that I'm interested in learning more about, but to be honest, man, I think that at the end of the day, I'm going to listen to a 9-minute song if I like it. If there's, a bunch of 1 minute, 20-second songs that I like, I'm going to listen to those either way. So yeah, I don't really think that, I don't really know.
Just going with the flow.
Yeah, just kind of going with it, man.
Great. You're connected to brands like Black Craft Cult, I see behind you, and shows like Space Zebra. How do you balance staying true to your artistic soul while navigating business moves and partnerships?
Hey, so big shout out to Black Craft Cult, by the way. So the Space Zebra show is no longer active, but when they were, it was popping. And, it was just such a amazing experience that OHDREAMER was, afforded, with that show and that endorsement.
Incredible.
So, yeah, it's really, it's kind of going back, to waking up, you know what I mean? Get louder. Sometimes you have to seek these things out. It had just so happened. I mean, this was really like a stars aligned, kind of moment. But in the same breath, I was able to set myself up to be in a position to get recognized or get shouted out, get a Black Craft Cult endorsement. You know what I mean? So, you really got to put in the work, but the universe will provide the opportunities.
Yes, the carnival does provide.
Indeed.
OHDREAMER, if one of your songs was frozen in time and played 100 years from now, what message would you want future listeners to take from it?
Oh man, let's see. Now the question is, what song do we go with? I'm gonna go with Lightbringer. It's it's currently even now still my current closing track. But I think that the essence of Lightbringer was like understanding that in some situations, you almost need to fall to rise, kind of thing. I don't want to be this, this big like riddle, so to speak. But in alchemy, for example, to create different effects and such, you would have to destroy, certain ingredients or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So understanding that sometimes to build, you have to destroy first.
Yeah, the Lightbringer speaks.
Indeed. Yeah.
I was gonna the Lightbringer. Imagine OHDREAMER as a horror movie villain. That's what that reminds me of.
Awesome.
What would you say your signature move or curse would be?
Oh man, maybe I would pull somebody's like soul out from like or something. You know what I mean? Like with the hat and the glasses and everything. You know what I mean? Kind of like the sleep paralysis.
Oh yeah, that's cool. If you could build a live show using any budget, absolutely no limits, what madness would we see on stage?
What was what madness? Oh, dude.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the craziest
I do.
Like ritual ever. Man, I'm talking like big time collaboration with like I would want Gojira's performance at the Olympics to look like Disneyland compared to a no budget OHDREAMER. I mean, it would just be like almost like a paranormal oddity experience. It would be insane. And stuff hanging out of like, the wall, some kind of interaction with the crowd. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. But I can come up with some pretty crazy ideas.
I bet you could. That is incredible. OHDREAMER, here's a part of our Underground Nation podcast that we would like to play a bit of a game with you, if that's all right.
Excellent. Let's go.
Yeah. This is called This or That.
Oh my.
Right. But this is a Wicked edition.
Wicked edition. I like that.
That's right. That's right. You're going to get two options, both wicked, either both wicked, intense, or mysterious. And you're going to pick one.
Excellent.
And why? And you're going to pick one and why in a few words.
I'm ready.
All right. This or that. Create a song so cursed it causes nightmares, or create a song so powerful it sparks riots.
Nightmares. Yes. Okay, and I'm going to say why, because part of OHDREAMER's lore, you know, philosopher, occultist, kind of has a foot in the dream realm, a foot in real life, so.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. You're the freaking Lightbringer in my nightmare.
Yeah.
Now we're talking
Exactly,
in the
bro.
flesh. I must have hit some kind of special, I don't know what you call it. It's leveled up a lot. It's a
The word
sign.
hasn't been created yet.
Holy shit, nuggets. All right. OHDREAMER, headline a festival of 100,000 strangers or a secret underground show for 100 diehard fans.
Oh, give me that secret underground show. And let's do it in the Paris catacombs.
What? The Paris
Yes.
catacombs?
That would be so sick, dude.
I've only seen this in movies. Can it really be done?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think Queens of the Stone Age tried to do it, but then their singer had a medical thing.
That just randomly
spooky.
happened because they were planning to go there?
You know, I didn't actually think about that until I was just saying it. It was like, oh shit, that's a little weird.
Like, wait a second. I think we didn't look into something there.
Yeah, we might have to deep dive that.
A fierce clash of chaos and clarity, this track cuts through the darkness with purpose and power. Let it ignite something inside you. This is Lightbringer.
Woe is me, but I am known by many names bastardized. I am the light, the way, the sinner, and the saint. Woe is me beyond the veil of a paradise. As the tower made of stone, thou will to remain long after we're all gone. Hail the Lightbringer! Grace we gotta fall to realize. Hail the Lightbringer! Grace we gotta fall to rise.
Dreamer, would you rather collaborate with a horror movie director or a legendary haunted house creator?
Yeah.
I know. What a decision. We're supposed to be fast.
Horror director.
All right, we're making a movie.
We're making a movie. It'll live
What kind of
forever.
movie would you make?
Supernatural horror, like paranormal. Yeah.
Of The Lightbringer. Oh, Dreamer, would you lose your voice for a month or be trapped with no internet for a year while recording an album?
Trapped with no internet for a year while recording an album. That sounds like a vacation.
Actually, it does sound like a vacation, but
Yeah.
you lose all your traction on social media and stuff.
Yeah, but let me tell you, you could take that whole year and just create something incredible.
And then the drop just be massive.
Yep, exactly.
Last one. Be remembered forever for your lyrics or for your live performances.
Lyrics. Yeah, my heart and soul is in the words.
In the words.
Did I win?
Words. OHDREAMER's a winner. Oh, OHDREAMER, you've got a huge live event coming up at the Substation in Seattle. Is that right? On Sunday, May 25th. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah, man. It's going to be Concrete, NiveK, and Nelly, Yung Fonti, OHDREAMER. Going to be
Nelly?
not that Nelly. Jay and Nelly.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? That would be a hell of a lineup.
OHDREAMER, you're gonna fucking kill it that night.
I know, right?
Well, I'm very excited to hear about this. What can fans expect from OHDREAMER on this live performance?
Yeah, so this is going to be my first show with my DJ, Death Machine. Shout out.
Hey.
Big shout out to Death Machine. We have a killer, very spooky live show. It's going to be very, very ritualistic. So please.
Join the ritual. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
I
awesome.
was like, wait a minute, what happens if I do join the ritual?
Well, see, I can't give any spoilers.
Shit, you just gotta be there and find out. Like, God damn it, Oh Dreamer. It's something you just gotta experience.
Indeed.
There's nothing that you can explain here. You just gotta
gotta
get to the show.
Experience it, man. The lights with the music, just the entire vibe. Like it's gonna be killer.
Just get to the show on Sunday.
Get there.
Don't be a bitch. You're also dropping a brand new song through OHD Presents on May 23rd. Without spoiling too much, because it seems you don't want to tell us too much, but you leave it on. Can we at least know what's the energy and emotion you're going to be unleashing with this track?
Yes, absolutely. So it'll be an early release, so you'll be able to listen to it directly on OHDpresents.com before it hits any of the streaming platforms. This song, I thought about the name of a lot with this song, because it is a very awakening musical type of piece that is going to touch into a couple different styles of music as well. So I'm really excited for everybody to check it out. I think this is going to be a great heavy hitter and the evolution of Dreamer music. And May 23rd, you can hear it first.
Do we get to at least know the title of the track?
Well, you know what? There is no title to the track yet. Oh. Yep, I haven't decided on one.
Okay, well, stay tuned.
Yeah,
stay tuned. We're all going to learn together, ladies and gentlemen. I know we kind of talked about this earlier with collaborations and such, and you mentioned you're in the works of some collaborations, and since we can't know exactly what you're planning to drop with whoever that may be awesome that you want to talk about that you can't. When you collab, are you trying to blend styles, or do you prefer to bring artists fully into your world and make them adapt to your vibe?
You know what? I think that's a great question. I like to blend styles. I think that if there's an artist that wants to, kind of get into like a harder track or something like that, if that's something that, that artist wants to try to do, I would love to be, that platform. And I think that would be great and a lot of fun. But no, I think that I much prefer, people to just be themselves and really collaborate, with people that I enjoy listening to. And, I think it makes for some really good mashups, but, it also kind of awakens, something in an artist that, maybe haven't done, like a heavier song before, and they go, damn, I really liked that. Or, like, damn, I didn't know that I could do that, or,
right.
Whatever it may be,
So you're definitely trying to push some boundaries, trying to test your vocals and see what new that you can.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And when I go into, doing features and stuff, for the most part, it's been more like hip hop or like nu metal leaning. So, being afforded the opportunity to kind of, also explore different styles of music and different genres has been extremely helpful to me as well. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's incredible. Absolutely. You've been making lots of moves. And one thing I wanted to learn more about is with OHD Presents. It's been expanding fast since I first learned about it. I mean, we see monthly theme drops, artist exclusives, and even building an endorsed artist roster. Could you tell us what's the bigger vision for OHD Presents?
I'm just it's pedal to the metal, with this, and I'm going to take it, absolutely as far as it goes. With this entire brand simply started off from making merch designs for Dreamer. And, it was I was cranking out designs it was just something I had just gotten into. There's a lot of people that I'm sure that are watching that picked up a lot of those early Dreamer designs. I just want to say big shout out to them, and then I just kind of wanted to start wearing, like some of these ideas that I had. And from there, it just kind of started to take off a little bit. It's been, ups and downs. It's been a huge learning curve, but it's been really great. We've been really starting to make a lot of really, really great progress. We're endorsing artists, bands, helping them get an exclusive merch shop going. We're expanding out. Here you go. I've got something that I'll tell you here. Nobody else knows this yet. We are expanding out to do a modeling program, which is going to help people that, are just content creators, So, I don't have the details on the program yet because I'm not entirely sure how we're going to build it out, but we are going to offer endorsements to, content creators as well. So it might not be called the modeling program. That's just kind of the tentative title for the time being. But, so we're going to expand out into that market as well and just, really start helping people, get really good quality merch out to their fans.
Hell yeah. That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That's great. So it's more than just a brand. It's a motherfucking movement.
It is, man. Yeah, the whole ass journey inward, man.
Congratulations, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah, no problem.
Can you talk a little bit
I said thank
more?
you. Or you say congratulations. I meant to say thank you, but I said...
No doubt, man. Can you talk a little bit about why you're bringing models and lifestyle branding into the fold and how that ties into the OHDREAMER universe?
Oh, the OHDREAMER universe, yeah. So... the OHDREAMER universe is a little bit separate from the OHD Presents universe, but so I think it's going to have more of an impact on like the OHD Presents side. People that are, generate money through TikTok or Instagram or Meta Reels and stuff like that. They're influencers, they're content creators, but they're influencers. So, we really want to partner with some new influencers, right? Because it really kind of helps spread our name out and about, but we want to do it in a way where that content creator is going to get something on the back end of it. You know what I mean? We don't just like send free stuff out or whatever, because that costs money. But we do offer, some really great discounts. We've got people lined up. We've done custom shirts for some of the people that have already kind of started into this program or whatever. So yeah,
incredible.
Good stuff. Yeah, super good stuff.
Like you're straight creating opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at that, man.
Yeah, and I like that. You know what I mean? Because it helps.
Absolutely. When you sent over the email, kind of letting us into your world of what's up and coming, you mentioned the journey inward. Was that a branding theme?
Yeah. So we really kind of just found our way into getting something like a brand, right? We had a business, we're kind of doing these things, but we didn't really have a brand, and we didn't really know exactly how we wanted to be different than just some of the others. So we landed on Journey Inward. It's because it's really about embracing who you are and finding your passion and expressing that in a way that you want to. We express ourselves like as a brand through art, fashion, and music, and we welcome all to join us on that journey and to journey alongside of each other. So one big family. We're all the oddities here.
Yeah, so that's what the journey inward means.
Yeah, man. Just really, looking into, the things that you truly, truly do love to enjoy and doing them.
Man, that could create quite the fucking impact, my man.
Thanks, man. I really hope it does.
Hell yeah. If you could leave every listener with one dream or one nightmare after hearing your music, what would it be?
Oh, can I get one of both?
Sure.
Okay, the nightmare, I want it to be almost similar to the sleep paralysis demon, except we can talk. We can have a conversation, right? Yeah, because then OHDREAMER, right, is there to hear your atonement, and that is not a place that you want to be. So that's your nightmare, right? I think maybe perhaps a more encouraging dream to leave the listeners with is, I would say that, we are dedicated, OHDREAMER, the Lightbringer, and the Shadow of the Saints, or the Shadows of the Saints. We are very interested in collaboration for truth.
For truth?
For truth.
For truth.
Yes.
Well, I hope I have some truthful dreams.
Indeed.
Hell yeah. Well, OHDREAMER, thank you so much for letting us into your world tonight. Please, where can we subscribe? Where can we stream your music and everything else?
Yeah, you can check me out on Spotify. That's OHDREAMER. Facebook, you can check out, it's spelled out OHDREAMER. Don't forget 2H, OHDREAMER Presents for OHD Presents. Instagram, at OHDREAMER, at OHD Presents. I think I got them all. Oh, and of course, presents.com. Check out the website. Hit me up.
There we go. Hit up the OHDREAMER. Before we wrap this up, I just want to say it's clear you're not just making music, you're building a whole world, a movement, watching your journey unfold with OHD Presents, the upcoming drops, and everything you've been creating. It's inspiring, man. Very inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
So everyone tuning in, stay locked in because OHDREAMER, it's just getting started. This is only the beginning of something much bigger. So thank you for sharing your time, your story, and your vision with us today. We can't wait to see where this dream takes you next.
Thank you all so much. And thank you.
You got it, OHDREAMER. I'll see you in my dreams later.
Indeed.
And yours. Fucking, that was cool, man.
Awesome, man. Yeah, dude, thank you so much, man.
You've been locked into Underground Nation, the voice of the unheard, the fuel of the underground. Want more? Dive deeper at underground-nation.com, the official home for exclusive episodes, harnessed spotlights, merch, events, and everything that moves in the shadows. We're not just a podcast, we're a movement. Join the family. That's underground-nation.com, where the underground lives.